Hi there, and if you're new to this channel, my name's Gabriel, and last year I was in my final year of university and in the exact same position as yourself, looking at that massive tower of applications, different places that I might apply to, and wondering, where do I start? What is right for me? And what I came to realise was that there are kind of two paths when it comes to graduate schemes. There are very specific ones, niche and tailored towards a specific category. Do you want to do something within the engineering world, but on a specific discipline with engineering? Do you want to become a consultant on a certain type of field? And so on and so forth. And then on the other hand, there are graduate schemes that are vague, general, will give you experience in a number of different fields over a number of years. You'll be able to jump from team to team, from area to area within a business. And these are the two that I see most often. So what I'm going to do in this video is break down which one might be right for you. Take a look at, I guess, the pros and cons of each of them, and hopefully that will make the decision as to what type of graduate scheme you want to apply to way easier. Let me start by saying that you are not the only person in this position. There are grads up and down the country, across the world, that still don't know what they exactly want to do out of university. So don't think you're behind, this is completely normal. And what I would say is that the most valuable way to actually answer the question, aside from the advice that I'm going to give in this video, is to try and get some experience in those different areas. The best way to do that is through internships or spring weeks. And so that might be the place to start, because not only will you find out if that sector is right for you, but you'll also understand if that style of graduate scheme might be the one that you want to do. And if you're at the stage that's past internships and spring weeks or work experience, then talk to people that are in those positions. Use LinkedIn, use the people that you know in your network to ask the questions, get the descriptions, and see if what they are doing day to day, year to year, is right for you. So let's start by taking a look at specialist grad schemes. And what I mean by that again is it's a grad scheme that will be already on the niche, the career path that you want to be on. And it might not even be a grad scheme, it might be just a grad role entering a company that will have a defined path route for it. And 100% the best thing about this is that you might already be starting that one thing that you absolutely love, and amazing, why not start today? Don't delay it, get on with it. A career lasts over a really long time span. So the sooner you get on that ladder, the quicker you climb it, and the quicker you can start to do those big things that you always dreamt about doing once you are quite senior up in a company. And on top of that, a lot of these specialist fields will probably have a qualification, a professional examination that you're able to do. And again, getting those qualifications onto your belt sooner rather than later is always a positive thing. So that's why if you're in the position where you know what you want to do, a specialist grad scheme is right for you. The one big drawback to a specialist grad scheme is, I guess, the fact that you might not end up really enjoying that career path. One of the things about going out of university and into a job is that you've actually never had a full-time career before. This is the first time you're trying it out. So doing it on a specific niche could be a risk, because in a couple of years you might be at the point where you're thinking you wish you could turn back. And at that point you're thinking, what am I going to do now, because I've started this very specialized career path? The one thing I would say is that especially in 2021, changing fields probably isn't that hard. You probably could move into something slightly different in a similar discipline and not necessarily have to start from scratch all over again. So I wouldn't let that absolutely panic you, because changing careers is so common right now. They say that the average person who started a career, I believe after 2010, lasts in that career for 3 years at a time before they will change and move to a different company. So don't feel like you're completely going to be stuck, and don't worry too much. But do bear in mind that it could have some difficulties down the line. Next, let's look at generalist grad schemes. Now, this is the one that I advocate for, because this is the one that I'm on myself, where I get the opportunity to try out 4 fields of a massive business over a 2-year span. And the main reason why I love this idea so much is because of the idea that your career will span from the age of 20 or 25 until you're 65, 70 years old. And that's 40 years long. To spend the first 2 years of those 40 trying out, testing the waters, and making sure that you're certain about what job you want to do is such an amazing opportunity that I don't think it can be missed. Like me, you're probably in the position that you've never actually had a full-time job before coming out as a student. So why not test the waters, try out a couple of things, figure out those soft skills, those hard skills that work best for you in a career, and don't worry about the fact that it's taken you 2 years to get there, because as I said, your career will last over a long span. So spend a little bit of time figuring out you make the right decision. There are some drawbacks to taking on a generalist grad scheme, and as I just said, it's probably the fact that you're going to be a couple of years behind someone in a niche that you might end up really wanting to take on as your career. But as I said, I wouldn't stress too much. Yes, there might be a couple of exams that you might be a couple of years behind on, but ultimately they're good skills, and being in the position 2 years after you've just started your career out to know exactly what niche you want to go into and then set your heart down that is an amazing achievement. And as I said, it's just as good and valuable to know what you do want to do as what you don't want to do. So these are all good things, and the Generalist grad scheme will give you these experiences. These are the main two career paths, the main two grad schemes that I see offered and that I saw offered when I was applying at the end of university. But there are probably a couple of others that mix and match them, so definitely choose the one that's right for you. And if there hasn't been enough information in this video, or if it hasn't persuaded you one way or the other, then as I said, the next best way is A, getting experience through internships or work experience if you can, or B, making sure that you start to talk and network through LinkedIn or through personal connections to as many people as possible in those positions that you are considering, because they will be able to illustrate to you the experience that they've had, which might give you a little bit of further insight. But ultimately, don't panic if you choose the one that might not be right for you 2 years down the line, because it's not too late. Your career is long, so don't stress too much. If you've enjoyed this video, then it'd be amazing if you could hit that subscribe button. I promise you it's completely free and it would help me out massively. And leave a like, leave a comment about your experiences, drop me a question if you have any, because I'd be more than happy to help out. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video.